please. Please do not smoke in the terminal building. Smoking is only permitted in the specified smoking areas.
Hey guys, welcome to another flight review with The Boring Traveler. Today, Tony will be reviewing Air Canada's business class product, which they market as Signature Class. This flight took place on a Boeing, yes, you heard that right, Boeing 777-300ER. The flight was from Paris, a lovely 3-day trip where he got to see all the monuments, to Montreal, with a layover of 8 hours before a quick 2-hour short haul to Dulles Airport in Washington, D.C. This video will focus mainly on the long-haul portion of the flight, whose duration was 7 hours and 15 minutes over the Atlantic Ocean. Enjoy!
Thank you, Faith, for that intro. I want to give a quick word of warning to anyone flying out of CDG coming from downtown Paris in the morning. My flight was at 9 a.m., so I had to leave downtown Paris about 3 to 4 hours in advance. There were not many options for getting to the airport at that time, the most convenient being a direct shuttle called the Roisy bus. It costs 16 euros and you can only buy it from these ancient kiosks near the bus stop. I almost missed my flight trying to figure all of this out, and catching the bus was also a bit of a hassle because I had to run towards it in order not to miss my flight. I just wanted to put this out there for anyone assuming they could just take a metro to CDG at any time in Paris, as I had previously assumed. Another word of warning. My flight was leaving from Terminal 2B, and I think the Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge in CDG is in Terminal 2A. So just be aware that if your flight is too early, you may not be able to visit one. Boarding was smooth, but the first thing I was told by the crew when I entered was that I cannot film. No greeting, no welcome to Air Canada. It was, I should not film them. Which is fine, but, you know, being on a business class flight, you always kind of expect a bit more hospitality. And so that was already an indicator of what was to come when it comes to the service on Air Canada. I booked seat 6K, which was the second to last from the back, in the first section of business class, as you can see here. Online, I read that 7K does not recline as well as some of the other seats, so I made sure to avoid that. As you can see here, seats are configured in the 1-to-1 configuration, and each seat has direct aisle access with bathrooms in the front and the back of the business class sections. So let's get into the seat review. Initially, we were provided with a seat mattress topper, a blanket, and a pillow. As you can see here, the TV is quite large, and there's a touchscreen in order to control it, and also a remote to control the TV as well. They gave us a universal plug, USB, though not USB-C, a headphone jack, touchscreen seat controls, which are really cool, and a reading light. As you can see, this seat is very modern and technologically advanced. Let's get into the seat controls. You can see here that there was even a massage chair functionality, and I literally used this like throughout the flight. Only problem was that it lasts for like 3-4 minutes at a time, so it's not like you can just leave it massaging your back the whole flight, but it was a real game changer for me. The seat had like an older version of the seat belts, like the ones that I think have an airbag in them, which can be a bit clunky to put on and take off at times. Storage space was very plentiful in my opinion, and once you're sitting down, even though there are no doors, it feels quite private. As you can see here, there's an adjustable armrest and plenty of carry-on overhead storage space. The entertainment system was up to date with many of the latest movies. There was such a wide collection. I ended up watching The Color Purple, and another movie I can't really remember right now, but you definitely won't be bored on an Air Canada business class flight. So let's get into the bathroom review. As you can see on the right, they had these beautiful liveries with the maple leaves, some Edition Voyage toiletries. My fiance didn't know what these were, so I'm just going to assume they're not as fancy. They had a handle. They had face tissues, obviously a sink, bathroom. It was a bit small, I would say, but they also had the window, which is, I guess, pretty cool if you want to look at while using the bathroom. All in all, it was a decent bathroom. It was clean, and I wouldn't say you should expect anything too crazy from Air Canada in this respect. This is probably one of the best amenity kits I've ever come across. It's from Acqua di Parma. The quality of the bag itself was just very good. It had a lot of space, definitely really reusable, like just for carrying toiletries around. It came with all the essentials: socks, sleep mask, hand cream, lip balm, foam plugs, eyeglass cleaner, which is more of a bonus, even though I don't have glasses, toiletries for brushing your teeth, anything you needed there. It was really solid as an Amenity Kit. I have to give Air Canada props in this respect. The tray table was huge. It had tons of space. It was basically two tray tables joined together as one. Here's the menu. You guys can pause if you want to take a closer look, but there were so many options for the food. For the drinks, there were also way more options than I would ever know what to do with. They started us off with the nuts. I love cashew nuts, so I was just really into that, and I got some champagne on the side with that. For the main meal service, the starters were apricot and tomato tatar with zucchini, tapenade, fennel salad, served with green salad vinaigrette and warm bread. Now that's a mouthful. I only knew what like 3 of these things were, so I really was not expecting it to be anything good, but I was pleasantly surprised by how good it actually tasted. For the main course, I went for the safe option, which was a chicken curry, which I really enjoyed. For the dessert, I decided to go with something a bit healthier, some fruit and tea, and then an hour before we landed, they served us smoked salmon, bread, and a salad, which I wasn't expecting to be good. I just didn't expect anything to be good on this flight. North American airlines, the food is not really good generally, so Air Canada really did surprise me with the food. So I am about 5'11", and there was tons of space for me to extend my legs, to lie down. Definitely a very spacious seat, so I wouldn't expect anyone who isn't maybe 6'5" or something to really have any issues. No air attendants came to help me set up my bed, so I guess they don't do that on Air Canada if you're expecting such. That being said, it was pretty easy to set up. I just had to press a button, and as you see here, extended to full lie flat position. Was pretty comfortable, slept like a baby, and on to Montreal we go. Welcome to Montreal, the only place where you're gonna fly from Paris and end up feeling like you're still in Paris. Everything was so French here. I was like, yo, am I in North America or what? But it was an incredible place to be for 8 hours, lots to do. I'll get to that maybe another vlog, but let's go into the lounge. The Air Canada Maple Leaf Lounge was kind of a letdown, if I'm going to be honest. They had tons of booze, but the food was pretty lacking. I guess maybe they blew all their budget on booze, which I guess to some people is worth it, but I'm not a heavy drinker like that. There was plenty of seating, though it was a bit busy this day, and it was right next to where the planes were coming in, so it was pretty cool to be able to see planes come in, park, and take off as well. While I was there, I just settled for some water, some beef that looked kind of like poop, and potatoes and some cookies. Like I said, the food really wasn't all that. And I just stayed over here, watched soccer on my phone. There was Wi-Fi for a couple of hours. So it's really just a place to wait, not really a crazy lounge like Qatar or Emirates would have or anything. It's like special. So yeah, I think it might be better in Toronto, from what I've seen online. So the Montreal really wasn't that good in my opinion. So let's get to the last leg of this trip, my flight to IAD on the Bombardier CRJ 900. This is a pretty small plane. I took the first seat in business class. It's really similar to domestic, so I really don't value this much. I would have gone for an economy ticket if I knew really what the difference would have been. But surprisingly, there was a bit of food service. I got a cheese plate with some raisins, and again, like I was saying before with the food service on the long haul, I usually don't go for this kind of stuff. I usually had low expectations, but you know what? It was actually pretty good. So I might be trying cheese plates from here on out. But yeah, that was the surprise I had. So in conclusion, I would say this was a decent flight. Air Canada is fairly easy to redeem, and there's lots of availability through Canada if you're trying to get to the US from abroad. For the seats, I would say about 75% satisfaction for me. It had good width and legroom. The lie flat bed was comfortable. It was private even though there was no door and there was lots of storage space. For the foods, I give it my highest rating of 85%. There was decent variety I could have picked, and it really did surprise me. Like every meal was quite tasty, and I just wasn't expecting that. So I'm gonna give it an 85% there. For the service, I'm gonna give it a 20%. Yeah, it wasn't very good. There was little to no attention. The interaction I did have with them was on a negative note, so I can't really rate that very highly. And on the entertainment front, the in-flight system did have new movies, but the lounge was kind of poor when it came to the food. But the amenity kit was very good, so I'm gonna round that out to like around 60% in terms of how satisfied I felt. So yeah, that's kind of my conclusion of my experience on Air Canada's business class. So how did I book this flight? I first start with points of the year. Usually I just pick a date I want to fly. I'll just show you guys as an example. Hit yeah, and then when it loads up, I would then select the flight that makes sense for me based on the amount of points I have and the programs that it shows. Points of the year is pretty fast, and I always like to come here. So for example, for these dates, I see that from CDG to IAD, I can fly non-stop using United on economy. If I switch here, I could look for business and first class flights to see what those are going for. So for example, kind of similar to what I booked, we just saw an Avianca Lifemiles here, see through built. I'm just going to go here and try an example. So here we could get for around 60,000 through United, and then it also shows you the booking options. So it shows you through Chase there's a 20%. You could book it directly on Aeroplan. So basically it's saying if you have Chase Ultimate Rewards, you could transfer your points to Aeroplan with a 20% bonus, and it actually shows you like the number of points it would cost when it deducts the amount you save with the bonus. You could go from Amex Membership Rewards, Built, or Capital One Rewards program if you have that. So yeah, I always like to start from points of the year and see what they have available. And if I find something that works for me, I would just then look at the program and then go there. For me, for this flight, it was Amex that worked for me. So I would come here, come to my Avianca Lifemiles under rewards and benefits, select the number of points I'm willing to transfer, and then transfer those points. Once those points are transferred, I would then log into my Avianca Lifemiles account, and then I would be able to come here and actually book the flights that I wanna take. So I came here, I searched for the flight, which was at the time CDG to IAD, and then Avianca, because they are part of the Star Alliance, they will bring up so yeah, you would log in, but they would bring up flights that are available on Air Canada. So I did that, and as you can see here, Air Canada is one of their flight partners due to them being part of the Star Alliance, and I was able to get my itinerary booked. So if you made it this far, I just want to thank you, and don't forget to sign up for my newsletter at theboringtraveler.substack.com, traveler with 2 L's because I'm English, and let me know what you think about my articles. I'll be posting a part 2 of my trip on Virgin Atlantic, and also be posting a summary and more deeper breakdown of my trip on Canada. So see you on the next one.